Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami dari kelompok 4 akan mempresentasikan materi tentang life below water. Selamat menyaksikan. Hello, my name is Keisha Maulika. Here I will discuss underwater life about beach, sand, lifeguard, beach activity. The first discussion is about exploring beauty and uniqueness. The ocean is an integral part of our planet, containing 71% of the Earth's surface and storing 97% of the world water. Beneath its shimmering surface lies an underwater world filled with wonder and mystery. The second is beach, gateway to underwater beauty. The beach is the meeting line between land and sea, becoming a gateway for humans to explore the underwater world. The soft beach, sand, and clear seawater are like an invitation to swim, sunbathe, or just walk and enjoy the sea breeze. On the beach, we can find various interesting activities such as playing in the water, swimming, playing in the waves, or just playing in the water by the beach are fun ways to freshen up and enjoy the beauty of the sea. Sunbathing, taking advantage of the warm sunshine to get vitamin D and relax is one of the favorite activity at the beach. Water sport, a variety of water sport options are available on the beach, such as surfing, jet skiing, or banana boat, offering an exciting and adrenaline-pumping experience. Building sandcastle, this classic activity is always fun for kids and adults alike, cunning, creativity, and imagination in building unique sand structure. Looking for seal, walking along the beach looking for seals of various interesting shapes and color can be a relaxing and enjoyable activity. Enjoy seafood. Tasting a variety of fresh seafood cooked in traditional ways is one of the main attractions at the beach. Third, three are the beach guards, security guard heroes behind the front of the beach. There is the important role of the lifeguard who ensure the safety of visitors. They are tasked with supervising activity on the beach, providing first aid in case of accidents, and ensuring the safety of visitors from marine dangers such as big waves, underwater currents, or jellyfish sting. The fourth is environmentally friendly beach activity. Enjoying the beauty of the beach must be accompanied by responsibility for, for preserving the environment. Here are some tips for doing environmentally friendly beach activity. Avoid using single-use plastic. Bring your own drinking bottle and food container to reduce plastic waste. Dispose of rubbish in the right place. Use the rubbish bin provided or take the rubbish back home. Protect marine life. Avoid touching or taking marine life without permission. Coral reef or marine animals save water. Use sufficient water when showering or washing your hands at the beach. Clean up the beach. Take the time to clean up trash around the beach before leaving. Lastly, there is sand, an important component of beach. Big sand is an important component that form the beauty and function of the beach. Sand consists consists of small grains of mineral and rock that have been eroded by seawater. And when over contours, the color of the sand varies depending on its mineral composition, from white, yellow to black. Sand has an important role in protecting shorelines. Sand acts as a natural cushion that protects shorelines from erosion due to waves and wind, provides habitat for marine life. Various types of marine animals such as crabs, shellfish, and seaworms live in the beach sand. Filter water and sand help filter seawater.
My name is Sulandari. I will explain about marine life, for example, coral and types of fish. Coral are colonial marine invertebrates in the class of the phylum Sirenia. They usually form compact colonials of many identical individual polyps. Coral species are important real builders that inhabit tropical seas and secrete calcium carbonate to form hard skeletons. Although some corals are able to capture plankton and small fish using the stinging shell on their tentacles, most coral obtain most of their energy and nutrition from photosynthetic unicellular dino of the genus Symbiodinium that live within their tissues. Living in seas with depths above 2,000 meters, McFish in the deep sea has its own both either of physical form and way of survival. The psyche of the fish in the deep sea is quite scary. Unlike the psyche of fish, others generally live in shallow waters. This is due to the physicality of deep sea fish have to adapt without light, withstand the weight of tons of water above them, and also get used to cold temperatures. Most of the fish in the deep sea products its own light product by skin organ called phototrophs. The following are several types of fish that live in the deep sea. Firstly, the culprit Jordani fish is one of the fish that live in the deep sea. This fish is dark brown in color and uses phototroph organ on its head to function penetrate the darkness. These photophore organs help fish to see in the darkness of the deep sea. Like most fish in the deep sea in Jordani, fish use organs. Both front-toothed fish or sometimes called character in the form of terrible face. It is dark brown and has long canine teeth, also sharp. Fang-toothed fish kill their prey by catching, using its strong jaw and teeth. Thirdly, the net devil fish in foreskin or has another name. The body is black which prevents it from being seen being seen by other predators. Net devil fish has a glowing decoy on the tip of the nose as well as the bird breaching which also glows. These two parts of the body are used to attract the prey. And finally, the humpback angler has a dark skin color which makes it invisible to the attackers. Has another name, Melancetus johnsoni. Fish it is 15 centimeters long with small fins that are not strong enough to make a gale and face movements. That's explanation of coral and several tips on fish in underwater life. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maura Kamalaufa. I will explain about trust in life below water. For example, water. Later, the water is returned to the atmosphere. A fundamental characteristic of the hydrologic silence is that it has no beginning and it has no end. It can be studied by starting at any of the following processes: evaporation, condensation, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, interception, infiltration, percolation, transpiration, runoff, and storm. The information present below is a greatly simplified description of the major contributing physical processes. They include evaporation occurs when the physical state of water is changed from a liquid state to a gaseous state. A considerable amount of heat, about calories of the energy for each gram of water, is exchanged during the change of state. Typically, solar radiance and other factors such as air temperature, vapor pressure, wind, and atmospheric pressure affect the amount of natural evaporation that takes place in any geographic area. Evaporation can occur on radiant rocks and on free water surfaces such as seas and lakes. It can even occur from water settling on vegetation, soil, rocks, and snow. There is also evaporation caused by human activities. Heated buildings experiment evaporation of water settled on its surface. Evaporated moisture is lifted into the atmosphere from the ocean, land surfaces, and water bodies as water vapor. Some vapor always exists in the atmosphere. Condensation is the process by which water vapor changes its physical state from a vapor, most commonly to a liquid. Water vapor condenses onto small airborne particles to form the fog or clouds. The most active particles that form clouds are aerosol atmospheric ions caused by lightning and combustion products containing sulfurs and nitrous actives. Condensation is brought about by cooling of the air or by increasing the amount of vapor in the air to its saturation point. When water vapor condenses back into a liquid state, the same large amount of earth that was needed to make it a vapor is released to the environment. Precipitation is the process that occurs when any and all form of water particle fall from the atmosphere and reach the ground. There are two sub-processes that cause cold to release precipitation: the coalescence process and the ice crystal process. As water drop reaches a critical size, the drop is exposed to gravity and friction drop. A falling drop leaves a turbulent wake behind, which allows smaller drops to fall faster and to be overtaken to join and combine with the light drop. The other sub-process that can occur is the ice crystal formation process. It occurs when ice develops in cold clouds or in clouds formation high in the atmosphere, where freezing temperature occurs whenever water droplets approach the crystal. Some droplets evaporate and condense on the crystal. The crystal grows to a crystal size and drop as snow or ice pellets. Sometimes, as the pellets fall so lower elevation, air, they melt and change into raindrops. Interpretation is the process of interpreting the movement of water in the kind of transportation event, leading to streams. The interception can take place by vegetal cover of depression stored in puddles and in lawn formations such as rills and furrows. When rivers begin, the water striking leaves and other organic materials spreads over the surface in a thin layer, or it collects at points or edges. When the maximum surface storage capability on the surface of the material is exceeded, the material stores additional water in growing drops along its edges. Eventually, the weight of the drop exceeds the surface tension and water falls to the ground. Wind and the impact of raindrops can also release the water from the organic material. The water layer on organic surfaces and the drop of water along the edges are also freely exposed to evaporation.
Hello, I'm Muhammad Aji Nugroho. I will explain about drought in life below water. Drought complex phenomenon that poses a significant threat to human survival and economic system balance. It's becoming interesting, cornering beneath the scoring sun and definitely blue sky. Drought lies like a looser monster, ready to pound, bringing devastating impact to various aspects of life. In terminology term, drought is defined as a condition of water, defined regional over an extended period. Drought can be categorized into four types, based on indicator use. First one is methodological drought. Focus on below average rainfall in a specific period. 2 is hydrological drought. Emphasizes the availability of water in water sources such as river, lakes, and reservoirs. 3 is agriculture drought, referring to a lack of soil moisture that results in crop failure. 4 is socio-economic drought, defined as a condition where water available is influenced to meet the basic need human and animals. The root of drought lie in the confluence of natural and economic factors. On the one hand, El Nino and La Nina phenomena, which are global climate patterns, except drought by causing change in rainfall patterns. On the other hand, human activities such as deforestation, overexploitation of water, and greenhouse gas emission. The impact of drought are like a domino falling, creating a chain effect that permeates various sectors of life. First one is water crisis. Shortage of water crisis for vital needs such as drinking, bathing, and cooking. 2 is threatened food security. Mass crop failure lead to food crisis, peaks in food prices, and malnutrition. 3 is wildfires. Drought makes forests more prone to wildfires, increasing carbon emission and exacerbating environmental damage. 4 is animal death. Livestock lack water and food, leading to death and economic loser for farmer. Next, in the fast drought trends, collective and social effort are needed for various purposes. Afforestation and expansion of green areas to improve water retention and maintain economic balance. Water conservation, implement water saving culture in daily life and applicate efficient irrigation system in the agriculture sector. Next is utilization of technology. Adopt a technology to improve water use efficiency, monitoring drought conditions, and develop early warning system. Drought is not inevitable fate but challenge that can be overcome with the right strategies, commitment, Bible strategies, and collaboration among stakeholders. We can build future more realistic to drought and ensure water sustainability for future generations. Next is climate change. Climate change refers to a long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns across the globe. Their changes are primarily caused by human activity, particularly that burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. When we burn these fuels, they release greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Their gases trap heat from the sun, cause the plant to warm. Next is effect of climate change. First one is rising global temperature. The average global temperature has already increased by about 1 degree Celsius since the pre-industrial era, and it's projected to rise future if we don't take action. 2 is more extreme, with even clean change is leading to more frequent and intense heatwaves, drought, floods, wilds, and storms. Next is sea level rise. As the planet warms, glaciers and ice sheet melt, cause sea level to rise. This is their content, communities, and economic. Next is the import of addressing climate change. Climate change is seriously then to our planet and its inhabited. It has a political to disrupt food product, displace millions of people, and cause widespread economic damage. What we can do, reduce or release on fossil fuels. We need to transition to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal power. Improve energy efficient. We can use less energy in our homes, business, and transportation system. Protect forests about carbon dioxides from the atmosphere. We need to stop deforestation and plant more trees. Support climate friends. We can use our government to take action on climate change. Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nur Mahmud Ismail. I will explain about trust in life below water. Our ocean and the great array of species that call it home are succumbing to the poison of plastic. Example abound from the gray whale that died after stranding near Seattle in 2010, with more than 20 plastic bags, a golf ball, and other rubbish in its stomach to the harbour seal pup found dead on the Scottish island of Skye. Its intestine followed by a small pieces of plastic wrapper. According to the United Nations, at least 800 species worldwide are affected by marine debris, and as much as 80% of that litter of plastic. It is estimated that up to 13 million metric tons of plastic ends up in the ocean each year, the equivalent of rupees of garbage truck load with every minute. Fish, seabird, sea turtle, and marine mammals can become entangled in and drowning. Humans are not immune to these threats. While plastic are estimated to take up to hundreds of years to fully decompose, some that them break down much quicker into tiny particles, which in turn end up in the seafood of we eat. Research indicated that half of sea turtles worldwide have ingested plastic. Some starve after doing so, mistakenly believing that have eaten enough because their stomachs are full. On many vehicles, plastic pollution is so pervasive that its effective turtle reproduction rates by altering the temperatures of the sand when incubation occurs. A recent study found that sea turtle that engaged to 14 pieces of plastic have an increased risk of death. The young are especially at risk because they are not as selective as their elders about why they eat and tend to drift with current just as plastic does. Plastic waste kills up to 1 million seabirds a year. As was sea turtle, when seabirds ingest plastic, it takes up room in their stomachs. Something causes starvation. Many seabirds are found dead with their stomachs full of this waste. Scientists estimate that 60% of all seabird species have eaten pieces of plastic, a figure they predict will rise to 99% by 2050. Whale dolphins are highly intelligent and thus unlikely to eat plastic. They are susceptible to contamination through prey that have ingested synthetic compounds. Plastic in our ocean affect creatures large and small, from seabirds, whales, and dolphins to tiny seahorses and live in coral reef, and schools of fish that reside on those same reef of nearby mangrove. Plastic waste can encourage the growth of pathogens in the ocean. According to a recent study, scientists conclude that corals that come into contact with plastic have an 89% chance of contracting disease compared with a 4% likelihood for coral that do not. Unless action is taken soon to address this urgent problem, scientists predict that the weight of ocean plastic will exceed the combined weight of all the fish in the seas by 2050.
Sekian dari kelompok kami. Terima kasih telah menonton. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.